Start our session today and be comfortable yourself and let your whole body weight go down and relax your body and neck head straight in one line and keep focus your mind to this bell sound, and while focusing to the sound mentally relax your body, relax your mind, relax your breathing with your thoughts. Let everything to settle down itself and gently close your eyes please and follow the sound. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, today in this session we're going to develop two mental cultures, Samatha mental culture and Vipassana mental culture. So why we call it mental culture? Because it cultivates our mind, it develops the capacity of our mind. So when it comes to meditation, one thing you have to remember, when you are practicing meditation, you cannot follow the guidance. So you have to completely be free from all the guidance coming from outside. Because once you have a primary mental object, you have to put the attention to that primary mental object. So if you keep looking for guidance, what will happen? Because the mind can take only one thought at one time. So then you disconnect from the primary mental object. So that's why in the beginning, even though we give introductions as a practice point of view, for you to be very clear with the path, when you start to practice meditation, always remember, have the confidence yourself to observe very clearly whatever the mental object that we follow. So here we mainly follow inhalation, exhalation. And once you come to that, 100% you have to bring your attention without any divisions and without any kind of disturb or without any kind of ideas or concept. Totally 100% you have to be with the primary mental object. So that is where your mind going to be sharp and clear. Remember that in the surface level of the mind, very nature is always busy. So as in Dhammapada, you may heard that mind is like the Purana, mind is the sheep. Durangamang ekacharang asarirang guhasayang je chittang sangye mesanti mukhanti mara bandhana. So this mind is very nature of the mind is go here and there, always jumping, always holding something. And it is very difficult to see sometimes. But the thing is, the good thing is, you can practice yourself, and if you very clearly give your attention, you can change that nature. Because mind itself doesn't have any form or the structure, solid structure. Because if there is a solid structure, how by practicing ourselves, by meditation, we can change it? Because there is no solid structure. So that's why we can change the situation. So the very nature of the mind, whatever available, it go with it. Whatever the things that you train, mind go with it. Whatever the lifestyle you practice, mind go with it. So then once you start to develop the tranquility state or the samadhi or the bhavana or chitta bhavana, and stay with the primary mental object, that is itself become the discipline to yourself. So this is an independent journey. Take total responsibilities to yourself while you're closing your eyes, while you're sitting. And then start to watch carefully. Start to see. If you're able to watch, you're going to recognize that. You're going to find it. Mainly your sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. And once you find the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, and that understanding will take you further. So in the basic level, the very purpose, in the beginning, the very first step, start to find the sensation. So when it comes to sensation, your bodily posture is matter. So if the way you hold your body sometimes not help you to find the sensation. So then if you can't see the sensation of inhalation, exhalation, move your upper body a little bit back and forth and your head a little bit up and down and find the right alignments. Once you have it, keep it there. And bring total attention to the sensation and follow the sensation. In the beginning, recognize inhalation as inhalation, exhalation as exhalation. And then follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. And when you observe that way, you may see some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, like that. Just recognize and accept it and see each and every inhalation, exhalation has a different character, unique character. Just recognize it. And sometimes while you're observing that entire body like a balloon that's moving up and down, then you may feel like it. Just keep focus to the inhalation, sensation of the inhalation, exhalation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Don't go anywhere else. So that itself make you disciplined. And while if you become disciplined, then your practice become more sharp and clear. So from there, you go to Vipassana level of meditation. In the Vipassana level, just observe the inhalation, exhalation deeply. So the same sensation. And now, rather than recognizing the details with the inhalation, exhalation, you go more deep and recognize the inherent nature. Forget about long or short or heavy or soft. Forget about that details. Just see how, because you deeply go to the bottom and you see only one thing. And so you recognize the very nature of impermanent. In the very moment that you experience the sensation, see how it change. And when it arises itself, it's change. So if you aware, if you see, then you can recognize it. And then unsatisfactory nature. There is no moment to settle down. Okay, this is enough. This is it. This is comfortable. It doesn't matter inhalation or exhalation. The both, always in a process or journey. See that nature within that your own experience. And don't go here and there. Whatever come to your mind, don't go with anything. Just focus to that and see. And then the other thing is the selflessness. Within that the feelings arise, even though you can name it these feelings as you. Just if you deeply, if you see that feelings doesn't have a self itself, it arises, it will go away or change to something else. This all itself happening, this all. So even though I mention one by one, now listen this very carefully. This is kind of like a killer. This is very hard. That is why it is when it comes to Vipassana level, you cannot massage your head. You have to be real, and you have to be sharp, that you cannot look here and there. You have to really focus. So just imagine yourself impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. So even though I mention these three things separately, all three things arise at once. It is not one by one happening. So in the beginning, you may recognize one quality, and then later you recognize another one. And maybe because this is the first time I mention it today, so sometimes you recognize the impermanent, and then later you recognize the selflessness, and you may recognize that unsatisfactory nature. So we all, as I mentioned always, in this all the Vipassana practice, we mention this all the methods, and we use all the words and all the techniques just only for the practice point of view, not anything else. So, but when you understand deeply, you have to be matured with that understand. That is what itself called practice, or the bhavana. You becoming matured with the practice. So then just see, you can go one by one and recognize that. But when your mind becomes sharp and come to a clear, the highest level of awareness, that you can recognize these all three things at once. So impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. And you go with the inhalation, exhalation. And that is where you deeply touch to the reality. So then from there, you observe and you experience, now you see it, and then if there is a sound come, and the mind will recognize that the same nature, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, impermanence, and even the smell come. Anything with all the perception, whatever happen, that the mind can see this nature. So that is where once you able to recognize that moment by moment, naturally your mind come out of the collective nature, because you don't gather memory, you don't have any more memory. You get out of the memory. You just be itself. You come out of the time. You just being in the moment of experience, in this very moment. That is the level of vipassana. So once you get out of the time, you get out of the memory, because the memory related to the time, and you just become itself being. Then once you get out of the time and you not belong to the space, that's mean you are not belong to the whatever the sitting that you having. So that is different level of the experience. But at the same time, what is happening, you should understand it as benefit before you practice, because it giving you kind of like that push yourself to move forward. That all the, as you know, this entire our body is kind of like it's like the entire human body is like it's drugs, chemicals. So entire this chemical, this drugs system start to change to natural form. So that way you completely become new person. If you able to experience that one moment with one thing, with that unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, and impermanence. So in that very moment, you get out of the time and space, and the entire your chemical system become completely change and balance, and it go to the natural form. And that is where you spiritually become matured, and anymore that whatever these conventional things not going to work for you, and it not valid for you. So that is the journey that you go little by little, little by little. So whatever. So somehow remember to give your best while you practicing. And when you come to Vipassana level, don't look here and there. Now you right away with the very fresh new mind, always moment by moment, whatever. You make mistake, you cannot do it, but still keep practice. Come back, come back, you know. Come back, always remember, it doesn't matter whatever, wherever mind go, remember, come back and stay focused to inhalation, exhalation. So with that, let's practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We're gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. Bring your attention in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. Recognize inhalation, exhalation separately. Keep focus your mind to inhalation, exhalation. And follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. You may see some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just accept it. And bring your attention to the very nature of the inhalation, exhalation. Observe the unsatisfactory nature, selflessness, impermanence. Bring your attention to your body and observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, and as far as we can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding ourselves like this. Mentally repeat after me with clear intention. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart, forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light as far as you can. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to Buddha's teaching, one of the important thing that you have to remember, in the first time in this human history, Buddha is the one who mentioned that all the problems that you have and all the difficulties that you go through, the solutions not in outside, that all the solutions inside you. So in that time, it was kind of like a very big statement. Still today, when you look at the world, human nature, we always look something outside, outside, outside. We always try to depend from outside. It's still the same, even when it comes to religion, even when it comes to our personal life, that's everything. We always look something from outside. That beggary nature itself is called the quality of the samsara. People like to that dependency. But Buddha is the one who mentioned, for all this that you go through, solution is within yourself. Don't look anywhere else. There was one time Buddha was sitting under a tree next to a river. And then this young wealthy boy called Lyasa and his friends went for a picnic with girls. And then there was a thief, a girl. And what she did, when everybody went to the water, and she took collect all the jewelries and everything, and she ran away. So then they came out and they knew that everything gone. Then they start to look for this girl. And when they were going here and there, they saw the Buddha. And they didn't know who is that. And then this Prince Yasa went to Buddha and asked, did you see a girl going close by here? So then the Buddha mentioned, what's the point? Looking for this someone. It is better look yourself. And in that very moment, it ignites the wisdom, because he never heard that kind of wisdom. And then he started to become a follower of the Buddha. So this little story in the very beginning of the Buddha's life, after the 5 ascetics, The one of the disciple that came to the Buddha, the Yasa. See what it mentioned, that it is better that you look yourself. What's the point that you look somebody else? So in day-to-day life, we are more into outside world. It conventionally, you see, it is so valid, important. Even look, everybody knows that even during this virus time, everybody knows that the immunity is the one of the best defense system for the virus. But still, there is no one openly talk about how yourself can develop this immunity to become better healthy person. That all the universities, all the research centers, all the doctors looking for the medicine that can create from outside and put it to inside the body. Because the body is our human body is itself so intelligent. See, even unknowingly, there are a lot of things around us. These radiations and vibrations, and there are a lot of things happening around us, even in this very moment. But unknowingly, our entire body, work with this. But no one have any open discussion, or even no one openly try to introduce or find out or doing a research how physically yourself, that without any kind of medicine, how you can develop your mind or body to defend for this situation. Because that is the nature for us ourselves. We always look something from outside. But your mind has capacity to create antidote for all the virus. So the same like this, in this unsatisfaction, worry, unhappiness, fear, this all kind of things, failure, stress, disappointment, anxiety, this anything. There is a solution inside you. But we like to read someone else's book. We like to someone else kind of a prescription and follow that. We like to always go for, Tylenol or Advil. And then we develop that kind of mentality. If you have Advil, or you are more safe. Forget about mine. If you have Tylenol, or you feel so comfortable. You don't think about anything. This mindset is good for conventional life. Wherever you go, you feel comfortable with that. Remember, in that way, you cannot even come closer to idea of liberation or the Nibbana. You may come closer to the more Tylenol and Advil or Panadol. So that's how it like. So see that you have no power to rescue. You never think about it. You always look to advance this outside help. You never look how is there any way I can be myself, or even is there any way that I can understand something myself without this anything. But we always look for something. But when it comes to meditation, that is why it called mental culture. That is the only mental culture exists. In this spiritual path, help for you just by yourself. Do it. The thing is this, for all the problems that we go through, it has a kind of like a personality. Because whatever the problem for you, someone else, it's not going to be like that. So then it is more easy for you. So whatever the problem that you go through, whatever the difficulty go through you, it is more easy for you to fix. Why? Because the solution within yourself. Then you no need to depend from anybody. Believe it or not, that this method more easy. But the thing is, why? Because it is too close to you. That's why sometimes you don't see it. But if you start to look for that, you recognize it. We have nature, too close things we don't see. So as example, when you practice loving kindness, may all living beings be well and happy. You can say it very, very clearly. But how about when you see your husband, wife in front of you sometimes? Forget about may all living beings. How about the neighbor you see, in front of you? Forget about that all living beings. So we like to, that the think this larger outside things, but when things too closer, sometimes we cannot see. Why? Because we didn't learn to see like that way. We never thought about it that way. So too close things, very hard to see for us. But the meditation, especially when it comes to vipassana, the too close things is itself you. It's not something else. So that is the beauty of the vipassana when you practice no duality, no any kind of boundaries, no any kind of separations, no any kind of value judgment regarding anything, no any kind of discriminations regarding any too close thing. It is you. Physically, psychologically the same. Too close things, your own thoughts, your own memory, your own judgment. It's too close to you. That's create everything. And when it comes to the life, too close things, your husband, your wife, your children, your neighbors, that is your life. Not from the other side of the world, the Facebook friends that you have a list of thousands, 3,000, 4,000, this virtual. You have no idea, but you think you have a lot of friends. You keep chatting, and you forget about that you don't see anymore. Your husband, wife, children, your friends, you don't see anymore. You now in a kind of like, far away and somewhere else, you have friends. So all the problems, because we look something from far away. We like when things come from far away. But remember in life, everything in you, even though you don't believe, you don't believe, the Nibbana also inside you. That's why in Abhidhamma, Chitta, it's in scriptures. It's not, my idea. It's, Chitta, Chaitasika, Rupa, Nibbana. That is the divisions of the mind. So then when it comes to Chitta, the mind, Chaitasika, thought or the defilement, mental formation, Rupa, forms, all the colors and the pictures and the patterns, it's everything in mind, and the Nibbana. So when you take out this all three things, that the Nibbana is there. It is in you, but you look something somewhere. So the Vipassana is art. that you go deeper inside. And when you practice the vipassana, when something come to you, when there is a difficulty come to you, when there is a problem arise, when there is a situation arise, because that's the it is common. When it arises, rather than looking outside, you develop a art to look inside you. So that is the difference. So in the person in conventional life, if the person belong to samsara, it always looks solution from outside. Of course, you can find 100%. You can find something, but it's not going to be a solution. It's going to be kind of like a tablecloth. You cover up the table. You cover up the origin. You put something. It look nice, flowers, many patterns. So like that. Look when it come to the good carpenter, when they create a very good, the table, how they like to do. When you go and buy a kind of like a, if you have a kind of like a common sense, when you buy something made by wood, how you look, what you look, you like to see the wood, the very nature of the wood. You don't like if something add from, the colored it with the paint it with something. No. And they like to show you the wood, the reality. So when you observe practice the vipassana, also the same. It is more beautiful. But the thing is, we have conditioned our mind to see with the colored, with the different layers, and we like to see that details that bring from outside. So then yourself, when you practice, have a discipline. Remember, when a situation arises, just know everything in you. Look for that. So you will see. If you look, you will see. There is a reason within you. Whatever happen, if it is, whatever the situation you go through, good or bad, there is a reason within yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to happen to you. There is a reason. Even the death come, for all of us. Even the death come, there is a reason within us. That's why it come to us. Formal way or informal way, whatever happen, there is a reason within us. So when you are practicing the vipassana, you surrender to that. You accept it. Itself, 100, that the 50% you finish the situation when you accept it. And then you start to look for that. When you look for it, you're going to see it. But if you don't accept that the reason is within us, how are you going to look? Where are you going to look? You're going to look outside. So then in day-to-day life, remember, take the fully responsibility. Even you have the husband, wife, children, friends, and family members. When it comes to end of the day, when you close your eyes yourself, they cannot do anything. It is just you. It is it is end of the day. It is just you. It is not you get into an egocentric, self-centered mindset. No, you understand yourself, your responsibility to look within yourself, what is happening. Because if you don't look, and maybe you become busy with your husband, wife, children, friends, and family members, and you forget you. And then later, you waiting and you look for the help from others. Why? Because you give everything for others. And finally, no one going to be around you, and then you get disappointed. I have done this, that. You have no idea how many parents, come and cry, telling about their children. And how many parents sometimes call, and telling about their children. Because as parents, when they give their everything for children, and sometimes when children become young and they have their own way, and then as parents, and sometimes you feel so sad, but it's nothing wrong with them, but it is your responsibility. Why? Because you didn't look yourself. You lose yourself because of somebody. It, of course, you have to do things, you have to do your responsibilities for other people, but yourself, if you forget, if you neglect yourself, remember that somehow that you have to pay for that. So that's what the Buddha mentioned. So for everything, there's a solution inside you. Look for that. And no any religious teacher talk about that. It always something else from outside, even still today. And all for all the disease, all the difficulties, there's something in you. That doesn't mean you no need to go to doctors, or you have to go. But there is a limit that they can fix. And there is something that within yourself. So that is the base line of the Vipassana. That's, so you look inside and with the fully responsibilities. And then you're going to see. And sometimes it is, it is very difficult in the beginning. Why? Because we used to be depend from others, other things. And we like it. It feels so good with others when we go with others, when everybody around us. And we not used to be silence ourselves, go deeper and disconnecting from everything. We didn't kind of like practice in the sansara sometimes. If you have done it, it's you know that. But anyhow, this is the time that yourself, you can give a try. And then not for whole day, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Go for a short period time. No need to hold for a long time. No, short period, quality. Go to the depth. And quantity and quality, everything mixed together. Get the best. 5 minutes enough. Can you let go this everything completely, be silence yourself and observe deeply to the bottom and see each and every moment that you experience with with your body, with your mind, so that with the feelings, whatever come to you, whatever you experience, whatever you have, that always change and not related to you. And it's no any kind of like that satisfactory nature going to bring it. Can you observe that? That's enough. 5 minutes. Try. Then it will help you to see deeply. So when it comes to this spiritual practice, there are 3 kind of ways that we go, and how you can spiritually become matured. So one is, it's called Uttama Adhikari. So Adhikari means that the governor. Uttama means the higher. So Uttama Adhikari means that you become matured with the practice of the meditation. And when you become matured with the practice of meditation in this Uttama Adhikari, what happening? So I will explain the 3 and then I go to the best one. So the other one is the Madhyama Adhikari, the medium, semi-matured. The Uttamadhikari, the matured, and the Madhyamadhikari, and the semi-matured, and the Kanishka Adhikari, and immatured. So those are the 3 things. Immatured person, this is how that person. He's self-centered, and then that whatever the experience he look from the meditation or reading, chanting, or praying, or listening to Dhamma talk, self-centered. How I can get, how I can attain to Nibbana. So me. So that is the very nature of the Kanishkadikari. So in that level, whatever that you look for, you are the most important person. Even attaining to Nibbana, that you have the self-centered idea. I have to go, I have to get it, I have to get it. So I am the main part. So Kanishkadikari. So, and it's kind of like a psychologically, you sleeping mode. You close down everything. And you don't see that things very clearly. You see everything, thoughts and imagination from inside you. And Madhyamadikari, semi-matured person. So he think about the self and he recognize the dharma also, 50-50. And so he go and practice all the rituals and he does things, and at the same time he look for go to heaven and have a better life, and he want to out of this all the practice and generosity, he want to get a better life. So like that, still he's in the samsara, but at the same time he do certain things for outside. So it's a 50-50. And he practice meditation. Oh, I can become calm, and I can attain to samadhi, and then I can feel so good. So like that, half percent self-centered and half percent that the 50% that giving for the dharma. Semi-matured person. And the matured person, Uttamadhikari person, he completely get out of all the self-views and completely surrender to the Dhamma, and completely and without the self-centered view or the self-centered ideas, with 100% he go with the Dharma. And when he even look for the Nibbana, he don't look it for with the self-centered mind. He look it with the Dharma-centered understanding, the reality-centered understanding. So that way he completely get out of the mind or the memory or the thoughts, and he completely come to cause and effect. And he follow everything according to necessary conditions in that very moment. That is the highest, and in it's spiritually become matured. So those are the 3 steps in life. So remember, don't look for your salvation. Look for salvation, but don't self-centered. Don't try to convert the salvation to you. So there are people, even they talk about the God, and they don't devote themselves to the God. No, what they does, they transform the God to them. So they think the God is, they are devotee. They are not going to become devotee for the God. In any religion like that. So there are some teachers, there are some monks, there are some people practice meditation. I practice meditation because I want to get something, what I want. That's why I practice meditation. So you never give up your self-centered idea and follow whatever the meditation. No, you practice meditation because you have an idea to get something out of it. So like that, there are people. So then when you spiritually become matured, remember, especially when it comes to Vipassana level, that's why I mention every day, be fresh, keep the newness, moment by moment, moment by moment. Get out of all the boundaries. Get out of all the theories, measurements. 100% to yourself. with your maximum capacity. Learn to see. Because when you see that, in that very moment, there is no duality. There is no subject and object. The both become one. In that oneness, that what you experience, in that experience as a human beings, that is the highest that you can attain, and in that experience, you are able to recognize how things come to be as they are. And that is where your liberation going to happen. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammam asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuccatu. Bless you.